Welcome back to In Ohio Country today, and we're here in beautiful Wapakoneta for our annual risk management seminar. And, one of the things we do at the seminar is try to bring value to our customers. And with us today is Steve Dearden from Continuum Ag. And before we get really started, Steve, give us a little bit of background about yourself as it relates to agriculture.
So, originally from southeastern Pennsylvania, grew up there, worked on a close family friend's farm, got my undergrad there at Del Valle University in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and then currently live in southern Iowa. Moved out there to get my master's in agronomy at Iowa State, and got hooked up with Mitch and everyone at Continuum Ag back in August, so I've been working there since then.
Continuum Ag, give us just give us an overview of what Continuum Ag, how it evolved, how it started, and what you're doing now.
Yeah, so Continuum Ag started in 2015. Mitch Hora started it, and originally started as a crop consulting and really focused on the Haney soil health test. And now with all this carbon talk and the industry kind of moving towards carbon and all that stuff, it really focuses on carbon intensity right now.
Carbon intensity. It's a new buzzword, right? And it's in the Inflation Reduction Act, right? It's part of that. So let's just get right into that and give us a high-level view of what that is.
Yeah, so essentially in 2022, the Inflation Reduction Act passed, and with it, the 45Z tax credit is part of that. So essentially, ethanol plants and biofuel companies can get or receive a tax credit for being under a certain CI score or carbon intensity score. And the main driver for that is farmers and their corn and their soybeans. So, that corn plays a vital role in reducing their overall carbon intensity score.
So, people, we don't want to get carbon intensity score confused with carbon offsets. You want to speak to that just a little bit?
So carbon offsets are when companies emit carbon and then they buy in credits from elsewhere to have a carbon neutral footprint, right? So carbon intensity score is essentially lowering or insetting from the inside of the company, lowering their overall carbon footprint based on their manufacturing process.
So if I'm a farmer and I'm looking at this 45Z and the tax credit, but that's for the ethanol plant, how's it going to benefit me as a producer?
Yeah, so farmers essentially can take advantage of this through their grain, right? So the lower your carbon intensity score of your corn or your soybeans, you get paid a premium through the ethanol plant for having a lower score because your grain is worth more to that ethanol plant.
So what determines your carbon intensity score? I mean, at a high level, right?
So part of that Inflation Reduction Act, the GREET model is put into that 45Z tax credit. That's what they use to figure out your carbon intensity score. So we use that GREET model in our topsoil website. So it's topsoil.ag. You can go right on there, fill out your farm profile, and purchase a carbon intensity score, and that takes into account all of your management practices and how that crop is grown, the energy level used to grow that corn or soybean crop.
So if I'm a producer, I'm thinking, do I have to change my operation to be able to take advantage of getting my carbon intensity score?
Yeah, not necessarily. So depending on your current management practices, right? So some of the main drivers of a carbon intensity score would be cover crops, using no-till, the incorporation of manure. So for guys that are already doing that, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to change anything. All you have to do is get certified.
Well, and along that line, if you had shown an example this morning about the gentleman, and maybe you just might want to talk a little bit about that because it's more of a normal practice than maybe the cover crop.
Yeah, so what I showed this morning had a CI score of, I think it was 24, 25, somewhere in there, and it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. It was, standard anhydrous, reduced tillage, no cover crop, standard MAP and potash, and 32%. They had a CI score of 24. So with that 24 is already under that 29.1. So that producer, for instance, doesn't have to change anything of their operation, and they're already under that 29.1 score, so they can already get paid a premium based on their management practices.
So with this 45Z and the carbon intensity score, give us a timeline on the dates. I mean, if you've got grain in the bin that was produced in 23, it's not going to qualify. So give the producers and folks an idea of when they can actually take advantage of it and maybe what that'll look like.
Yeah, so this is new for 2025, 26, and 27 as of right now. So it's any grain that is grown in 2024, 2025, and 2026 that's going to get sold or made into ethanol in 25, 6, or 7.
So, Steve, if I'm a producer and I'm looking at it, is this just for corn only?
So for corn, right, for every CI point under that 29.1 that you are, it's worth about 5.4 cents, right? So for soybeans, it's at about 3 cents. Anything for soybeans needs to go to renewable diesel or biodiesel. But that's all part of it. That kind of got incorporated just the last couple months here. But soybeans are coming, but as of right now, the main driver is going to be corn and ethanol.
Steve, I'm a producer and I want to learn more about it. Where can I go?
You can go to Continuum.ag to find out more information, and to fill out your farm profile, go to topsoil.ag.
And as always, you can reach us, find information on our website at allendavisinsurance.com. Steve, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Alan.
We'll be back with more in Ohio Country Today right after this.